Hi, I'm Joan Ritter-Ward.
And I'm Jim Conkle, and today we're out on Route 66 in Amboy, California at Roy's, a real Route 66 icon. And they're having a major car show here today. This is March 1st, 2025, and Joan and I have some fantastic interviews lined up for you, and so I'm going to turn the show over to you, Joan, and you can do your thing.
Okay, fine. Hey, it's a little toasty out here today, but we're surviving. Okay.
If we don't blow away.
Yeah, but with the wind and everything, right?
All right.
Okay, here we go. Well, I'm sitting here with Ken Large, who is the town manager of the city of Amboy here, and he's also very involved in organizing this first car show here. Is that correct?
That's it. It's our inaugural event.
It's yes, that word, event. So, well, tell us, with the car show today, has it met your expectations?
It's wildly exceeded my expectations. You know, it's our first one. We're pretty far out on the remote part of Route 66. I thought we were going to have 50 or 60 cars, and we've got close to 200.
Wow, awesome. Okay, so it must have been quite a venture pulling all of this together.
You know, that's what I love about Route 66 is the camaraderie, the help you get, the friendships, the way things can still sometimes be done with a smile and a handshake. We just had a lot of good people help us, and it kind of snowballed. You know, we reached out to some friends, they reached out to some friends. Pretty soon we've got a great day on a town that was almost dead. It's just full of life.
Okay. Now this Amboy is a very interesting town. So what is it that you manage here?
So I manage all the day-to-day operations of the store.
Okay.
We do events like the car show. We do other car-related events that are brand specific. We shoot lots of commercials, product ads. And shockingly, Route 66 is even more popular with Europeans than Americans.
That's what it is.
So it's kind of funny. The hotter it gets, the more people come from Europe. They come in huge packs of rental Harleys, following the tour guide that speaks their language in a little van, and the older folks come in buses.
Okay, so you said there's a lot of filming that has been done here. Can you name some of the commercials that people may have seen?
Yeah, right now the Nissan RAV4 commercials. It parks in front of my sign. The current Wrangler ads with the cowboys and girls in the semi in the desert, those are shot on the runway. As far as films, California with K with Brad Pitt and David Duchovny. This is where the gas station scene is, where Brad Pitt comes inside and essentially beats up the gas station lady and kills the gas station kid. But the most iconic one is the 1986 Rutger Hauer film, The Hitcher. This is the cafe used in The Hitcher film.
Oh, okay. Okay, The Hitcher. All right. Okay, now when somebody comes here, I have a question too. Now there's a old school here, and there's also some buildings there. Can people come in and look at those things, or?
The school still belongs to the school district. That is the one thing we do not own. The rest of the buildings, whatever's not behind a locked gate, people are free to look at.
Oh, really?
If they'd like access to other items, then we usually do that with a guide.
Okay, okay. So all right, so there is a working gas station here, correct?
There is.
And a cafe that?
We serve frozen foods. We have cookouts. Sometimes we're not full service with food. We don't serve food all the time. Because Amboy, the most unique feature of it is, for 99 years, the Santa Fe Railroad brought the drinking water to Amboy.
Oh.
And currently the railroad has stopped hauling water. We have water we haul that we use, but we're not allowed to use it for food service.
Okay, interesting, okay. All right, so what else is there historical and interesting to see if somebody comes to the town?
So we've got several historic markers. Out in the field past the town, there's a little cemetery, but the thing I like most for people to come see is just Amboy itself, because I feel like it appeals to so many groups. But to me, it truly is an American dream story to me. To to me, my version of the American dream is you can come from anywhere and you can come to America and you can do whatever you want and be whatever you want. And Mr. Albert Okura, Asian American, founded his own brand of Mexican style rotisserie chicken restaurants, wildly successful, people love it, tastes good, and bought a whole town. Not just to flaunt that I can buy a whole town, but to bring it back and keep the right kind of vibe. And I love it when the people come from around the world to experience Route 66 and the Mother Road, that my little grungy vintage gas station in the middle of nowhere is one of the iconic stops. And I love it. For one thing, it's just infectious to see people that are that happy about someplace. But here, there's just only happy people passing by. No one got here by accident. They all came on purpose. And there's no protests, no anger, no hatred. People get out of their car from all over the world with giant American flags to take a picture on the Route 66 logo.
All right. All right. Okay. And like that. Now, does this happen like year-round when you have people from Europe, or is it seasonal, or how does that work?
So it's oddly all the hot months of the year.
Really?
Yeah, it seems like the hotter you get, the less people you would think would come, but that's not the case. In the summertime, we do have a well, but it's very salty, so you can't drink it. Hence, railroad bringing the water. We have it hooked to an ice machine. We put out children's swimming pools full of mountains of ice, 30 or 40 squirt rifles at a time. And even that, it's infectious to see these people that have spent tens of thousands of dollars saving to come on this American trip of their lifetime, happy about their tour guides hosing them down with ice water in the middle of the desert.
Wow. God, okay. All right. Is there anything else you would like to say about Amboy or your duties as town manager that you would like people to know?
You know, as far as my duties as town manager, it's almost a pleasure to come to work. It doesn't feel like work. Every time we unlock a little piece of the puzzle, historically or infrastructure-wise, it's like it recharges your batteries. You want to come to work. It's hard to make yourself go home sometimes.
Oh, that's cool.
You know, I like to think that the people here that work with me all love this place as much as I do, because I think you have to be either in love with the place or a little bit nuts to drive 100 miles to work every day. I like to think that I'm still in love with it.
Wow, 100 miles, huh? Okay. All right. Well, thanks, Ken.
Thank you very much.
And thanks for the information that you've given. It has, I've learned some things that I didn't know, so I'm going to be back.
Thanks.
Okay.
And if you would like to tour around the property, please call me and I'll personally tour you around the property to show you some things.
Okay, great. Wonderful.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Pleasure meeting you.
Thank you. Okay, I'm here now with Kyle O. So Kyle, tell us, how are you connected with Amboy and the car show and everything?
Okay, so my dad is the one who bought the town in 2005. This is our first car show we've ever attempted to do since 2005, so we're really excited to get it going. We had a lot of nerves building up, bringing people out to the middle of nowhere. Sometimes you're kind of worried, is anybody going to even make it? 2 months ago, we only had 7 cars pre-registered, and by the time the show was starting, we had over 90 registered, and then eventually we ended up having over 175 cars, so I think it was a pretty good success for our first time.
Yeah, that is pretty good. Okay, so what made you guys think to have a car show?
Well, I think it's perfect place to do a car show. I'm surprised we didn't do it any sooner, but just it's such a resemblance of, what Amboy represents. On Route 66, being out in the middle of nowhere in pretty much a ghost town with nothing but some googie architecture, right? So especially with the 100-year anniversary coming up, having classic cars, muscle cars, it's just like, it's a perfect spot for it,
Right.
And so we plan to do a lot more in the future, and I'm really excited about it.
Oh, well, that's good, but I agree, this is a perfect spot for it. And so are you involved in showing cars yourself, or?
You know what? It's funny. I brought a Tesla here, and so I'm the only electric vehicle besides the Rivian truck. So we high-fived, and so a little bit past my time, but I enjoy it, and it's like the cars here, man. Some of them are amazing. Yeah, amazing.
Okay, all right. And so now you said your dad bought the town. So your dad is the founder of a Juan Pollo. Is that it? Juan Pollo.
Yes,
Okay.
so he started in 1984. He worked fast food all his life. Ray Kroc was his hero. McDonald's, the franchise model, grew up in the 50s and 60s when fast food chains were blowing up. So that was part of his childhood. So working there for many decades, he realized in the 80s, well, hey, I kind of want to, I want to own my own restaurant. I don't want to just keep working up a corporate ladder of an already established chain. He worked in Del Taco and Burger King. And so in the 80s, chicken was getting a lot more popular because people were saying that it's a lot more healthier than beef. So a big chicken craze went on. With a lot of restaurants opening charbroiled and rotisserie. So he kind of jumped on board with that idea. My uncle-in-law is the one who actually gave him kind of a tip. Hey, you should be doing Mexican rotisserie style. I'll teach you how to do it. He's from Chihuahua, Mexico.
Oh, really?
And so we get that asked question a lot. A Japanese-American founder of a Mexican rotisserie chain. For some people, it's hard to believe. He said, well, I'm American. And, in America, you can choose to be whoever you want to be.
Oh, true.
So 40 years later, we just celebrated our 40th anniversary last year.
Wow, great.
And, I really wish he was here to be a part of it. He fortunately passed away 1 year prior to the 40th anniversary. So even stuff like this car show, I think this is something that he really envisioned that would be a place that, Amboy would be perfect for. He loved cars. And, I really wish he could have been a part of it. I hope he's looking down and saying, like, hey, son, you're doing it. And I'm still continuing to do it in his honor and his legacy. And
That's
so
wonderful.
you just have to continue going, That's
Right,
why.
right. Well, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. So, are you involved in any of the day-to-day operations of Amboy, or how are you involved with Amboy?
Okay, so when my dad decided to buy the town in 2005, I was 12 years old. And so I didn't understand the importance or even the meaning of why you would say buy a town. I still remember that day very clearly. He comes into the room, I'm on the computer, and he says, hey, Kyle, I'm going to buy a town. And as a 12-year-old, I was like, what do you mean? I didn't even know that was possible. He said, I'm going to buy a town. Kyle, it's called Amboy. It's in the middle of the desert. And I said, why? And he goes, well, who else do you know owns a town? And the simple answer of that, just as a kid, I very much understood where my dad was coming from. My dad wasn't somebody, let's say, that needed everything to be crossed I's or dotted I's, crossed T's. He was someone who stepped out of the box.
Oh, really? That's
Very
cool.
much so. And he always loved to jump on opportunities, even though it seemed senseless at some times. I remember he was criticized by everybody, including our own family, his business colleagues, but that's how my dad was. He saw an opportunity and he jumped straight on it. Fast forward 2019, I've been working in the office, the corporate office for his restaurants, mostly doing marketing since 2016. I said, hey, Dad, I'll apply the same skills that I'm doing with the restaurants, and I'll help Amboy out. And so that's how I slowly started getting sucked into the business. I was doing a lot of the marketing, setting up their websites, their social media pages, setting up contracts for companies to want to do movie shoots here and music videos and commercial work. And then I slowly get sucked into more and more of the projects that were needing of me here to manage this place. And pretty soon after, a couple years later, I'm managing the whole place.
Wow.
And so from a day-to-day opportunity, I'm not here per se every day. I live out in, just moved out to the OC, so I'm kind of about 2.5, 3 hours away. And so I really got to give credit to my managers here, Ken and Nicole, for keeping this place alive. They live in the nearest town over, 29 Palms, hour drive every single day to come to this place. And they're really the heart of this place because they're here every single day. And I get to talk to them every single day, and it's just been truly a blessing, the projects we've been able to work on together. And even them, they knew my dad for a very short period of time, and even then they could see just in that time how what type of person my dad was. It's just amazing that they get to be a part of continuing that legacy. And that's why things like this car show is extremely exciting for me, because we've been spending the last 5 years on all kinds of restoration projects, fighting ourselves.
Wow.
It's just constant struggles and setbacks. These are the things that we really wanted to get to. These are the things that my dad didn't get to experience here. We've been fixing the plumbing, fixing the electrical, fixing the the septic system, figuring out the water situations, and getting everything tuned up so that we can finally get these cottages open. Everybody wants to see the cafe reopen, a retro diner, middle of nowhere retro diner along with the gas station. We're one of the only places, I think, here, especially in California, that still pump your gas for you. We got old style 70s refurbished mechanical pumps, turnkey. as to get all part of that experience to give. And we meet people all over the world, and every single person gives their own account of what they think, why Amboy is important to them. People come from all over the globe just to see this small place in the middle of nowhere, and it's fascinating when you see the light in their eyes and the reasons why they appreciate a place like this. Something that someone was asking me is, well, now that your dad isn't here, it was your guys' passion project together. How do you continue on with that same level of drive to want to continue with his destiny into restoring this place? And what I told people is that in these last few years, I've come to realize that this town is so much bigger than my dad's legacy. It's so much bigger than me and my dad's personal relationship and our personal reasons why we want to get this town restored as well. We realized, and I realized in the last few years, that this town is so much bigger than us. And you see it from every single person you meet coming here. And I realized I got to continue it, if not for my dad, for them. And so that's what gets me the excitement.
Wow.
And this car show is a reflection of it. We've only been promoting for 2 months, and you see hundreds of people here.
This is
this is just the beginning. And we're so extremely excited for the future.
Great, that is great. Well, Kyle, I wish you the best. Your excitement is infectious. And yes, when I talked to Ken, he did say, the town manager, he said this is a place he loves to come to work, and so then it's really good. And then, he comes a distance too, So, it's really good to see all of that excitement and the vision for this town, because things like this can just get lost by the wayside, but you're helping keep a very part of American history alive. So great. Do you have anything else you want to tell us about the town or anything?
Let's see. Besides, next year we got the 100th year anniversary of Route 66, and so we've been telling everybody that we're trying to get at least the cottages or the cafe open by next year.
Oh, okay.
Not both. I know it's a big project, but I mean that's what everybody's looking towards. I mean we've been telling people that for years and years. Now we're finally getting to a place where I think it can be done, and so that's going to be our biggest goal. So stay tuned, because I think that next year we're going to see a big resurgence in Route 66 travel and tourism.
All right, that's great. And so, hey, if you haven't been to Amboy, you need to make your way over here. Hey, it's worth the drive. It's worth the drive. Hey, people come from other countries to come this way. All right,
all over the world.
So make your way over here. Okay, well, thanks a lot, Kyle.
Thank you.
All right, and I'm here now with Jeremy. Jeremy, here in Amboy at a car show, but he got here a little bit different way. So, Jeremy, how did you get here today?
Yeah, so always wanted to come to Amboy. I mean, I've been here in various cars over the years, to Roy's, but this time at a classic car show, the Inaugural Car Show, I knew there was going to be a lot of vintage cars, and I don't own any vintage cars. But I do have a vintage aircraft, so I flew my 1955 Cessna and landed on the runway that's just behind us to enter into the contest here with my vintage, freshly restored aircraft.
Wow, 1955 Cessna.
Yeah, Cessna 180. So it's a classic in its own. It's a backcountry aircraft. So unpaved strips like this are very common for a Cessna 180. And just finished going through all the mechanicals on it. Repainted it last year. It's in pristine shape.
Wow. Okay. So how long have you had your plane?
My second aircraft. I've owned this one for 5 years. Bought it, needed some work, worked on it, had a bird strike, had to do some more work, rebuilt almost everything on the aircraft over the past 5 years, and now it's as good as it came off the assembly line.
Okay, so are there classic airplane shows like there are for cars?
Absolutely. Yeah,
really?
there's lots of air shows at different local airports. Totally something to go in, especially if you're interested in like science, technology, engineering, math. It's a great place to get exposed to aerospace engineering, different products that have existed, different aircraft that existed over the years. Everybody shows their stuff. It's a good time.
Really? Okay. So, how long did it take you to get here?
To get here? Well, it was about 45 minutes today. I kind of made a trip up to Hatchby to spend the night at a friend's, and then zipped over here in the morning.
Oh, you just zipped over?
Just zipped over, just cruising like a leisurely 150 something miles an hour.
Oh, okay, that's fine. Okay, well, well, during the interview here, we're going to take a look at your plane, and it'll be included in this in this. So, hey, is there any more information you can tell me about your plane or your trip here, or how you tie in with Route 66?
Honestly, it's a great, obviously the Mother Road,
Right.
America's Main Street America, is something that's, I've enjoyed traveling in vehicles. This is a different way to see it by air.
Right.
I know during the lighting of Roy's sign, there was a lot of aircraft that came here. I wasn't able to attend during that
Oh, okay.
event. So it was a thing I needed to do, and this is a good excuse to do it.
Oh, okay, right. That's good. Okay, so what's the furthest distance that you've flown, like for
For my little Cessna. So I'm originally from New York.
Oh,
so
really?
I actually fly home to New York once or twice a year. And last year I actually flew to New York, then down to the Florida Keys, and then all the way back to California. So I do a fair amount of long distance flying in my Cessna.
So, okay, so how long did that trip to New York take you?
So it's about 2 days to get across.
Okay, okay.
Generally, depending on the winds and things, you can do it a little faster. But
Okay, are you going alone, or do you have somebody with you, or?
I've done both.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, depends on the day. But hopefully going to set off on a new cross country trip soon. So I'm very excited about that.
Wow, I'm impressed. Okay. Interesting. See, I learned something I didn't know today, and I didn't. Yeah. Well, that's great.
It's an amazing thing. Like if you look at older aircraft like mine, they were built to handle rugged runways that weren't well paved, weren't well maintained. A lot of them were grass back in the day. So a very small amount of improvised landing strip, like a place here, actually gives this place access to every runway in the area. So it's a great thing to have. So yeah,
Right,
support
yeah,
your
so-
local runways.
Yeah, I have to get some footage of that runway too.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on and sharing that information.
Of course,
All right, and it was good to meet
it's
you.
good to meet you.
Hello, and I have with me today Karla Klaus from Newberry Springs. So Karla, what brings you here today?
I'm here to support Route 66 and Amboy for their car show, their fabulous car show, and also representing the Baghdad Cafe, our famous movie set in Newberry Springs.
That's right, the Baghdad Cafe was filmed.
Filmed there.
Yeah, it was filmed there. Oh, what? Did you happen to be in the Baghdad Cafe?
No, I wasn't, but Andrea, who is the owner, still is smiling and greeting all the people, and they have this charming little movie set that just makes you feel like you went back in history. Very much how charming and adorable Amboy is.
It is, I've been to the Baghdad Cafe a couple of times. It is really unique, and it's a really nice, cool place to go to with all the banners and stuff they have on the wall and everything.
Well, because of the movie, and because it's more of a European, I guess, sensation, we have 6,000 people who come to take a picture, mostly French,
Really?
German, European, buses, and it's the happiest place on earth.
Wow.
Any place where Route 66 is the heart of it.
Now that's really interesting, because it's like when you're close to something, like when you live near, you kind of think, oh yeah, I'll go there whenever. And then you have people coming from all over the world
Right.
who are just excited to be there. Yeah, that's something we all need to keep in mind, myself included. So, okay, well tell me, so this says Historic Route 66 Tours. Can you explain what that is?
Yes. Well, since I'm a 20-year resident there, and the Baghdad is sort of a hot spot, a group of us, but me especially, and my husband have decided to start a tour business, because people come there, they take the picture, but there's not a lot of other things to do. little do they know that we have a wealth of beautiful and wonderful and rural things to see. We have a world famous koi farm. We have one of the only Egyptian Coptic Catholic churches there, a monastery really. And it looks like you went to Egypt because and they are welcome to have tours. We have lake properties. We have a lot of petroglyphs because our Indians dwelled up in the mountains. And we have big horn sheep, plus many more.
You have what?
Big horn sheep.
Okay, look. I need to see the bighorn sheep.
Okay.
Because every time we go to Joshua Tree, you know, they say there's bighorn sheep there, but we've yet to see any. And so then it's almost like a joke. It's like, okay, are we going to see bighorn sheep here today? But you have bighorn sheep in Newberry Springs?
Yes. Now they like to hide out in the high mountains, but our little park has a watering station for them. And so approximately 11:30 around every day, they'll come over this little mound, and if you're inside the building, you have a great view of them. But they're really almost not that afraid because they're so used to using the park for a watering hole, including little babies and mamas and big rams, and it's quite special.
Okay, I'm going to be getting in contact with you. I need to. I want to see those bighorn sheep.
And you know, this is the fun of someone like Jim Conkle or myself learning about the little things that can delight people and make their vacations extremely memorable.
You're right, because the only thing I knew about in Newberry Springs was the Baghdad Cafe. And you brought up these other things I had not heard about before. That is really interesting. I'm going to be checking that out. Okay. And something else that Jim had mentioned to me is that you also, oh, wait a minute. You were...
Yes, let me...
Miss Classic Route 66. Now, tell us about that.
Well, we have a Miss Route 66 pageant put on by our Chris Watson of Newberry Springs. 50 years in a row helping pageant stay alive. Anyway, we have a car show in Barstow, our closest big city, and all of Main Street, which is Route 66, has a beautiful show just like here with classic cars, and they hold this little pageant, and even Jim was one of the actual judges. I might have had a little in. But they were all ages, and they had little girls and mom and daughter, and they had probably about 45 contestants.
Wow.
And everybody got some sort of award. But in my case, I'm now, at least for this whole year, Miss Route 66 Classic, and I'm also considered a queen.
All right.
So
Queen Karla. All
Queen
right.
Karla. But what has been fun about it is if I go to the Baghdad or even here, people say, "Can I take your picture?" You know, and so it's spreading that enthusiasm.
Oh, that's very cool. That's cool. Okay. And okay, I want to ask you about one other thing. Now, Jim had mentioned that you you have a refinishing furniture business or so. Well, can you tell us about that? Because he said whatever it is that you do is really fantastic. So what is that?
Thank you. It's called Villa Bella Home, and Villa Bella in Italian means house beautiful. So my husband and I met, fell in love over refinishing furniture. But in 25 years, we have morphed into becoming the fantasy ultimate princess look. Princess, right? But it actually goes from the adults who are ultra feminine ladies, want to have their dream to have cherubs and roses, or royal elements and pearls draped on them. So it is very elaborate, it's very creative, and we're able to do this on our property, in our rural area, and ship cross country.
Wow.
Yeah, it is, you know, normally my hands have a lot of paint on them.
Oh. All right. Very creative there, I see. Okay. Well, I want to thank you for stopping by and having a chat with you. And, you know, we'll put your information up there too so people will know how to contact you. Okay?
And one last little thing. We have a wonderful Chamber of Commerce who have a little office at our family center that people can come and get our really nice little magazine or
cool.
brochures or hear more about what's to do in our area. So have them stop by the family center called the Drifting Sands Cafe.
Okay, great.
Okay, it was a pleasure. Thank you.
You're welcome, and thank you for being here and sharing your story. That was great.
We are the 928 Pin Up Dolls from Kingman, Arizona.
All righty, and how is it you guys are out here in Amboy today?
Well, one of our friends that has a car kind of told us about the event and asked us to come out. He knows we do a lot of stuff in our community, so.
Okay, so what do Pin Up Dolls do?
We actually are a nonprofit. We help other nonprofits in the community. We'll get invited to help volunteer at their events, and we help fundraise. We had an event in January where we raised funds for local veterans, and we raised over $3,000.
Wow, okay. So do people want to take pictures with you, or?
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. We've had a lot of people today asking to take pictures of us and with their cars and stuff, so it's a good time. Everybody likes to dress up.
Now that's a good idea, taking pictures with the cars.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's really good. So, all right. So what are your age range here? I heard somebody.
Our oldest is in the 50s, and our youngest just turned 21. We also have some juniors, some younger girls that will come out and dress up and help as well.
Okay, well, that's pretty good. So how did your organization start, or how long has it been?
We actually formed last February, so it's been just about a year. And our local chamber, I'm a board member of the chamber, and they knew that I did pinup, so they were like, hey, can you get some friends out? So we went downtown, and they had a bunch of cars, and then we just started talking over a bottle of wine and decided to make it official.
That's really good. So if somebody wanted to you to come to their event, they would contact you.
Yes.
And so then, all right. So what we'll do is we'll have your contact info on here as well. And is there anything anybody would like to say? Anything?
Thank you for having us. Yep.
You just want to be cute.
Pinup is very fun, exciting. It gives the girls a lot of confidence as well. We've done a lot of public speaking. Size doesn't matter. It's very body positivity and just helps us get out there in the community.
Hey, do you think I could be a pinup doll too?